The dormitory theft. The next day of the sports meeting was Sunday. Almost all students take a nap on Sunday morning. In fact, they couldn't sleep. However, being unable to sleep does not mean that you need to get up. Laying down and thinking randomly, even if you're hungry, is more worthwhile than getting up, totally for the sake of sleeping. Otherwise, you will naturally suffer a big loss. No one thought that Pang Fenghua's box had been stolen. When was it stolen? No one knew. But she was missing 16 yuan in cash, plus 4 yuan in food stamps. Pang Fenghua's toothpaste has always been kept in her artificial leather box. She has a good habit of checking her money and belongings every morning while applying the toothpaste. Money and goods disappeared, not a small number. This is not an ordinary thing. On Sunday morning at 10:15 Beijing time, all the students of 82-3 gathered together. Many students hadn't had breakfast yet, and Wang Yuyang hadn't even had time to wash her face and brush her teeth. The class teacher came, as did the director of the student's office, Qian. Pang Fenghua didn't come. She stayed alone in the dormitory and was giving statements to the police officers. When leaving the dormitory, many classmates saw Pang Fenghua. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, her hair disheveled, her eyelids swollen. She was very sad and had no strength at all. The policeman got boiling water for her, but she didn't touch it. It was genuine grief, unlike yesterday on the track and field, and it couldn't be faked. Everyone in the classroom was gathered, and the young class teacher stood next to the blackboard with a rather ugly look. His body stood as straight as a javelin. He was waiting for Director Qian to speak. Director Qian did not speak. His mouth was hidden and pouted, but the 2 bite lines around his mouth were particularly deep. He has not spoken since the moment he walked into the classroom until now. Director Qian finally lit a cigarette, took a long puff, and slowly exhaled. Director Qian spoke, and he said, "My surname is Qian." Director Qian said, "Who has the courage to stand up for me and steal me back?" Director Qian's words caused a few laughs, but the laughter stopped immediately. Director Qian didn't seem to be telling a joke. His expression was there. After Director Qian said this, he paused for a long time. His eyes were like searchlights in a black and white movie, shooting out 2 parallel beams of light. The 2 parallel rays of light passed over each student's face, creaking. If you can't resist and lower your head, Director Qian will immediately remind you, "Raise your head, don't hide your eyes, look at me." Director Qian is devoted to his work, and he does very detailed work on students, including life, work, and ideological matters. This is very famous even in normal schools across the province. Director Qian has been awarded the Provincial and Municipal Advanced Worker title for 2 consecutive years. The certificate of award hangs on the wall of the office. Director Qian was imprisoned during the Gang of 4 period. After he was rehabilitated, his superiors originally wanted to move him up to the bureau. However, to everyone's surprise, Director Qian refused and insisted on staying down below. Director Qian said that he loved school and loved education, so he finally stayed. Director Qian started his 2nd spring in the normal school. Director Qian worked extra hard, hoping to make the students' work more detailed and deeper, and make up for the lost time. In Director Qian's own words, he takes care of everything from a person's death to a missing needle, and no one can even think about sleeping under the radar. Quite a skill in management. The so-called management, to put it bluntly, means catching. We need to catch our work, and we also need to catch people. Director Qian stretched out his palm, opened it, held the other wrist tightly, and explained to all the class teachers in the school what catching meant. The so-called catching means to control things, mainly people, in the palm of your hand and then use all your strength. As soon as the opponent feels pain, he becomes soft and catches him, and the catch is done. Director Qian's explanation was rich and vivid, and the class teachers understood it at a glance. In detail, every student in the normal school is a little afraid of Director Qian. They always walk around him. The students discovered that Director Qian was not actually mean at this time. Instead, he called the classmates who were walking around and asked kindly, "Am I a big tiger?" Director Qian was not a big tiger, but an eagle. You rarely see him, but he can always see you. Once something goes wrong and there's a special smell, his shadow will be cast on the earth accurately and promptly, hovering around you silently. At this moment, this eagle is perched on the platform of Class 82-3 with a pair of eagle eyes staring closely below. He began to speak again. His topic bypassed the theft incident, which made people a little confused. However, his awe-inspiring demeanor still exaggerated and shocked everyone. What kind of normal school do our principals, and of course me, want to build? Director Qian asked such a serious question. I very much agree with our principal. Director Qian answered to himself. Our principal said, first, iron discipline, and second, iron school spirit. 4 big words. Director Qian kept using his index finger to click on the desktop of the podium to remind students what iron is. Of course, all the students have seen what iron is, so there is no need for Director Qian to say anything more. Director Qian slowly brought the topic on the right track around iron, the most common metal. Why is iron so indestructible? It's because iron has been refined and is very pure. If there is residue and impurities in the iron will break and the building will fall. Director Qian then asked, what is our job? It is very simple, to find out the impurities and remove them. The silence in the classroom and even heavy breathing could be heard. Almost every student could hear themselves breathing, and many students' faces turned red. Director Qian concluded, finally, I would like to send 8 words to the students. Leniency for those who confess, sternness for resisting. Dismiss!